Как ты считаешь, кто опаснее сейчас для Ислама Махачева, Арман Царукян или Илья Тоpuria?
Мое личное мнение, не то чтобы там опасен, скажем так, более конкурентен. Я думаю, что Tsarukyan. Я думаю, Арман посерьезнее боец.
Tsarukyan is
Tsarukyan,
very good.
that's the guy that Topuria is going to have all the problems with. All the problems.
Yeah, Tsarukyan
It's his toughest fight.
That's his toughest
Well,
fight.
Tsarukyan
He'll still be favored though.
really,
You think
really
he's going to
good.
be favored?
No, I know he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's scared of me, and he knows why I should take dangerous fight with Arman. He's a real contender. It's easier to beat Paddy Pimblett, make easy fight and go move up, and Arman can be a champion in 155, and I'm going up and fight with the third title. It's the best case scenario for him.
Arman is no joke. Arman versus Ilia is an interesting matchup. I do not think the UFC will make Arman versus Ilia because I think they love Ilia as a champion. He's a great champion, and I don't think they really want Arman to become champion. He has a legitimate chance at beating Ilia. I can't believe I said it.
Sean O'Malley is calling out UFC's double standards, and fans are losing it over Topuria versus Tsarukyan.
Arman definitely has a chance. Why risk it against someone that's not super popular, who's very dangerous?
In the past few days, after his impressive submission win over Dan Hooker, Arman Tsarukyan has been very vocal and persistent with the UFC, demanding a fight against Ilia Topuria. But so far, his efforts haven't borne fruit. Meanwhile, to everyone's shock, Ilia Topuria seems more interested in facing Paddy Pimblett instead.
Digo, ¿quién quiere combatir Ilia Topuria?
Yo, mira, pues tengo a Paddy en la mente. Me gustaría pelear con Paddy si es que no me dejan subir en peso welter para pelear con Islam, porque el combate que realmente me gustaría tener es en contra de Islam en la tercera categoría.
This situation has ignited a firestorm in the MMA community. In a recent conversation with Daniel Cormier, Arman addressed the issue directly, claiming that Topuria is avoiding him because he's a tougher, more skilled opponent. According to Arman, Ilia prefers easier fights rather than taking on someone like him.
And why didn't Ilia go in the ring with you on Saturday? Because if Ilia goes in the ring and you two stand, now people forget about Paddy Pimblett. Why didn't he go in there?
Because he doesn't want to fight me. He's scared of me, and he knows why I should take dangerous fight with Arman. He's a real contender. It's easier to beat Paddy Pimblett, make easy fight and go move up, and Arman can be a champion in 155, and I'm going up and fight with the third title. It's the best case scenario for him, and he's thinking for easy fights, making good money.
As the discussion unfolds, Joe Rogan has weighed in with his take, asserting that the fight between Ilia Topuria and Arman Tsarukyan would be one of the toughest for Topuria. He emphasized the high skill level that Tsarukyan brings to the octagon, noting that Topuria would face significant challenges if the fight happens. With this, the debate over who would perform better is heating up, and the calls for a showdown between Arman Tsarukyan and Ilia Topuria are growing louder in the MMA community.
Tsarukyan is
Tsarukyan,
very good.
that's the guy that Topuria is going to have all the problems with. All the problems.
Yeah, Tsarukyan
It's his toughest fight.
That's his toughest
Well,
fight.
Tsarukyan
He'll still be favored though.
really,
Do you
really
think he's going to be
good.
favored?
No, I know he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Topuria will be.
Yes.
I think
he's
he's
still favored in that
he's
fight.
got two erasers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got two erasers.
And he
man.
grew up wrestling.
Yeah, Tsarukyan can also strike though, and his wrestling.
Oh, not like Topuria.
His striking's pretty good.
His striking's good.
Not as
very
you
good.
Nobody on this planet would say it's as good as Topuria's. I think we can give
We'll
him
see.
these problems.
Yeah. Would you put your money on Topuria though in that fight?
I wouldn't put money on that fight.
As the debate over who has superior skills continues, Arman Tsarukyan has completely dismissed the hype surrounding Ilia Topuria. He criticized Topuria for gassing out too quickly in his fights, pointing out what he sees as holes in his game. Arman confidently claims that he is the better MMA fighter, highlighting his striking, kicks, grappling, and wrestling, while Topuria is primarily just a good boxer. He believes that if he applies pressure and uses his wrestling effectively, Topuria will tire quickly, giving him the advantage inside the octagon.
He's a good striker. Not good striker, he's a good boxer. I feel like myself, I'm a better like a MMA fighter than him because I have I'm more skilled than him. I got good kicks, knees, wrestling, setup, boxing with wrestling against the cage, grappling, everything. He has just good boxing, and that's all. So I feel like you gotta just keep pressure him, try him, take him down, make him tired, because he's gets out so fast with the wrestling. If you watch like fights where he wrestled, he got tired and so fast.
On the other hand, Joe Rogan has weighed in with his own perspective, challenging Arman Tsarukyan's claims. He acknowledged that Arman has the power to knock people out, but he emphasized that Ilia Topuria possesses a unique, almost uncanny ability that sets him apart. Rogan highlighted Topuria's style and record of knocking out legends multiple times, which makes a strong case in his favor. While many believe wrestling is the decisive factor, Rogan is particularly impressed by Topuria's winning streak and believes it demonstrates his exceptional skill and composure inside the octagon.
I'd say with Topuria, listen, Tsarukyan knocks people out. He's a very good striker.
Yeah.
But what Topuria has is that weird power.
Yeah.
The same thing we were talking about Pereira. He's got that weird power.
He does get hit though. He
does get hit, but he wants to get hit.
Yeah.
He wants to throw himself in there so he can get those counters off, because he knows when his land,
it's over.
So in that sense, you haven't seen those kind of fight. Look what he stopped 3 legends in a row.
Legends
in a row.
Shut him off.
Max Holloway's never been knocked out.
It's one of the greatest 3-fight win
just
streaks.
as good striking?
I think Tsarukyan. I would probably say Tsarukyan's wrestling will get the job done.
We're not talking about wrestling.
And it might be a boring fight.
We're not talking about wrestling though.
While many fans favor Ilia Topuria, that support has only fueled the debate over why the UFC isn't making this fight happen. Despite Arman Tsarukyan's recent victory and his repeated calls for the matchup, the UFC has yet to act. In his latest review, Sean O'Malley slammed the organization, exposing what he calls a rigged hypocrisy. According to O'Malley, this fight is a must-make, but the UFC is favoring Topuria, claims that Dana White is protecting Topuria's career, fearing the damage a fight against Tsarukyan could cause. In O'Malley's view, the UFC is using double standards, effectively blocking Tsarukyan from a championship opportunity.
Arman is no joke. Arman versus Ilia is an interesting matchup. I do not think the UFC will make Arman versus Ilia because I think they love Ilia as a champion. He's a great champion, and I don't think they really want Arman to become champion. He has a legitimate chance at beating Ilia. I can't believe I said it. I think Ilia might knock him out, but if anyone has a chance of beating Arman at Ilia at 155, it's Arman, the Turkey Man, Tsarukyan.
Further weighing in, Sean Suga O'Malley asserted that Ilia Topuria is clearly avoiding Arman Tsarukyan because he knows Tsarukyan has what it takes to beat him in the octagon. Despite Topuria's dominant power and skills, O'Malley believes both the UFC and Topuria are unwilling to take the risk of facing a dangerous fighter like Tsarukyan, fearing it could damage Topuria's legacy. According to Sean, Topuria is also playing mind games by targeting fighters who are more popular or less risky, like Paddy Pimblett or Islam Makhachev. In his view, Arman Tsarukyan is the one and only fighter with the best chance to actually challenge and beat Ilia Topuria.
Is he running from Arman?
It's hard to picture anybody beating Ilia right now. It's hard to visualize anybody just being able to go in the octagon with Ilia Topuria and beat him. Just how dominant he's been. You know, realistically, they go get in that cage, it's like Arman definitely has a chance. He definitely has a shot. Ilya's such a massive superstar right now. It's like, why fight Arman when you could fight Islam or, Gaethje's a bigger fight than Arman. I think Paddy's a bigger fight. So it just depends on where Ilya's head's at. Does he want to just go out there and, hey, I want the next best guy?
This belief that Arman Tsarukyan has what it takes to beat Ilia Topuria isn't shared by Sean O'Malley alone. MMA legend Khabib Nurmagomedov has expressed a similar stance in an interview, making it clear who he thinks would be a tougher opponent for Islam Makhachev. Khabib noted that, from a competitive standpoint, Arman Tsarukyan has a better chance to earn a fight with Makhachev. In his view, Arman is a more serious and well-rounded fighter than Ilia Topuria, who comparatively has shown fewer standout performances in the 155-pound division. Khabib believes that not only does Arman have a strong chance to challenge Topuria, but he could also be a legitimate threat to Makhachev.
Как ты считаешь, кто опаснее сейчас для Ислама Махачева, Арман Царукян или Илья Топурия?
Мое личное мнение, не то чтобы там опасен, скажем так, более конкурентен. Я думаю, что Царукян. Я думаю, Арман посерьезнее боец, чем Топурия. Топурия хороший боец в 66, а в 70 мы его не видели. Я считаю, что Арман более конкурентоспособный для Ислама, чем Топурия.
Now, particularly after Arman Tsarukyan's impressive performance against Dan Hooker, several MMA experts have strongly backed the belief that Tsarukyan has what it takes to beat Ilia Topuria. One of them is UFC legend Daniel Cormier, who asserted that Topuria's interest in fighting Paddy Pimblett is more of a joke or a stunt for fun. In Cormier's view, the real challenge for Topuria would be facing Arman Tsarukyan, whose skill set is precisely the kind that could create serious trouble for him in the octagon.
I think Paddy Pimblett's fun. I think Paddy Pimblett has a bright future in fighting. But I believe that the two best lightweights in the world, if Islam Makhachev is now the welterweight champion, it's Arman Tsarukyan and Ilia Topuria, bro. And that's not even in question anymore. I thought that Paddy Pimblett getting in the octagon after Ilia won the belt, to me, was a little bit odd because I didn't feel like him beating Michael Chandler should have warranted him being in that spot. I thought that the biggest issue would be trying to do away with the images of Paddy in the cage with Ilia after he became the champion. But then when you watch Arman Tsarukyan last weekend, bro, he's big, he's strong, he can really wrestle, he can strike.
According to Daniel Cormier, this is a real threat that even Topuria fans can't ignore. He believes Arman Tsarukyan possesses the complete skill set, not just in grappling but also in striking, that makes him a serious challenge for Ilia Topuria. Moreover, Cormier pointed out that Tsarukyan's fight IQ and ability to control the octagon are perhaps his biggest threats to Topuria, as the level he demonstrates is comparable, in some ways, to Islam Makhachev. In Cormier's view, there's no question about who Topuria should fight next because Arman Tsarukyan is the matchup that truly tests him.
He can do just about everything, and his top control is what's a real issue. And I believe that's the problem. That's the scary thought for anyone that are Ilia Topuria fans. Because if there's anyone that can replicate that game of Makhachev, or at least to a degree, Arman Tsarukyan.
And with all that, one thing remains clear. Arman Tsarukyan's recent performance against Dan Hooker speaks volumes about his skill set. The damage he inflicted on Hooker's body and face was brutal, and many now believe Arman has a very real chance to beat Ilia Topuria as well. In a recent interview, Tsarukyan even revealed his exact plan for defeating Topuria, stating confidently that he will smash him with elbows, break his face, and use his elite-level grappling and top control to secure a dominant TKO victory. This statement alone shows the level of confidence he gained after dismantling Dan Hooker and why he still stands as the #1 contender.
Все видели, что ты сделал сейчас с Хукером, видели брутальный финиш с Дариушем из последнего. А ты вот мог бы в красках описать, как бы ты хотел завершить бой с Топурией?
Топурию я бы хотел забить локтями, просто изрезать все лицо и закончить ТКО.
Кстати, вот если говорить про лицо, ты видел Хукера лицо?
Да.
Сейчас просто вот сразу открыл, покажу.
Покажи. Жалко, жалко.
Meanwhile, many in the MMA community believe Ilia Topuria's stardom is rising without any real obstacles. Discussing the trolling tactics Arman Tsarukyan has used against Topuria, both Kamaru Usman and Henry Cejudo noted that all this drama is only boosting Ilia's popularity even more. They highlighted how the entire situation is actually benefiting Topuria, even though the whole world knows nobody wants to see Ilia fight Paddy the Baddy. What fans truly want is Ilia Topuria versus Arman Tsarukyan. However, they also warned that if Arman genuinely wants this fight, he needs to stop these antics, because continuing down this path could turn the entire UFC against him.
Arman Tsarukyan is able to go in there and get the job done, but then guess what, Arman? You have made yourself a star already by some of these antics to build this fight up. And Ilia Topuria, as we know, is already a star. So he's going to continue to just be a bigger star if he's able to stop all these guys that are trolling.
Everybody and their damn mama, they want to see that fight. They don't want to see a fight with Paddy the Baddy, man. He's saying that he'll never give Arman a chance, for the belt. Like, he'll rather relinquish that. The UFC 1 does not want to hear that, man. Once you start thinking you're bigger than the UFC, you start to become public enemy #1.
And this sets the tone for the direction the UFC is heading on to, and the real question that arises is, are truly competitive fights being prioritized, or is the focus on promotional matchups? Dominic Cruz weighed in on the situation, noting that while Ilia Topuria certainly deserves his next title shot, Arman Tsarukyan is the real competitive challenge. Cruz pointed out that from an analytical fight quality perspective, Tsarukyan is the opponent who truly tests Topuria. Yet from a promotional and storyline standpoint, the UFC seems to favor Paddy Pimblett. While fans are furious and demanding this fight happen, Cruz believes the situation is somewhat delusional, highlighting the disconnect between competitive merit and promotional priorities in the UFC.
So I think that if we're talking about the best actual fighter in the division, it would probably be Tsarukyan for like style that could beat Topuria. Like if I would look at the style that looks like it would have the best chance to beat Topuria, I would say it's Tsarukyan. But if we're going to talk about storyline, if we're going to talk about the gate, ticket sales, promotion, so it's either you're coming from an analytical standpoint or you're coming from a promoter standpoint. And when I look at it from a promoter standpoint, it would have to be Paddy. When I look at it from an analytical standpoint, it would have to be Tsarukyan. But you can't. We don't lose as the fans with either of those fights, so it's a win-win.
Amid all this, the discussions about Ilia Topuria potentially fighting Islam Makhachev and the debate on who he should actually fight next continues. Dominic Cruz weighed in, highlighting that such speculation mostly benefits the UFC in terms of hype and promotion. He noted that a matchup between Topuria and Makhachev doesn't make much competitive sense because, in his view, Arman Tsarukyan is the opponent who truly deserves a fight with Topuria. Cruz also mentioned that even if a fight between Topuria and Makhachev were to happen, Topuria could still pose a real threat, potentially flooring Makhachev and handling the matchup with relative ease.
And the one that makes zero sense to me, but that could happen, would be Topuria and Makhachev.
Yeah.
I mean, it could happen too, and we'd still win on that one, right? Because just the small chance that Topuria is the first guy that can actually stop Makhachev from, holding him down on the floor easily for 5 rounds.
And that's the real story behind the Topuria versus Tsarukyan saga. UFC's double standards, Arman's dominance, and why fans everywhere are calling for this fight now. Who do you think would come out on top in the octagon? Drop your thoughts in the comments because we want to hear from you. Make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to Boxism, and hit the bell icon so you never miss the latest UFC breakdowns, hot takes, and insider updates. Stay tuned because the fight for the truth in MMA is just getting started.